Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to share with you an update about our homeschooling journey. If you're new to this channel, I'm a homeschooling mom of a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old, and I've been homeschooling for one full term now. Yay! So I've been homeschooling for a good 12 to 13 weeks and it has been amazing. I'm going to be sharing with you today what has worked, what hasn't worked very well, and why I am still committed to this journey. So first, I'll talk about what has worked. The first thing I want you to know is we have not used any curriculum this term. And the reason is it was just so overwhelming for me to decide what curriculum I was going to go with. If you don't know how I found myself homeschooling, we went on holidays. My son had an accident in the pool and cut his leg. And when we got home, because he couldn't walk, I had to homeschool for 2 weeks. And after 2 weeks of homeschooling, we both fell madly in love with it. And we decided to carry on to the end of the term. And now we're at the point where we have made up our minds to continue for the whole of next year. So when I started, I didn't have a curriculum. I wasn't prepared. I didn't even understand what the whole homeschooling, thing was. And I'm going to take this opportunity to give a shout out to all the homeschooling mamas out there. You guys are doing a brilliant job. I'm so grateful to be a part of this, and I can't wait to see, the challenges that come ahead. So back to a curriculum. It was impossible for me. It was just so overwhelming for me to find the right curriculum. And what was super important for me at the time was incorporating my Christian values into my lessons. So I struggled to find a curriculum that could incorporate both. But the good thing about not having a curriculum as a foundation for me as a new homeschooling mom was it took off all the pressure that comes with, having a lesson for the day and needing to go through that lesson. I didn't have none of that. It allowed us the liberty to do fun things, to be creative, to make up our own lesson plans, to bond even over creating the lessons. It was amazing. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, please do. I've shared loads of our homeschooling tips and tricks and lessons, and it has just been fun all the way. So as far as homeschooling in itself, I effectively only homeschool for about an hour a day. So every morning between 7:30 a.m. and 8:30 a.m. I go through my sit down lesson with my 3-year-old for about 20 to 40 minutes, and with my 2-year-old, from my 1.5-year-old, for about 20 minutes or so. However, homeschooling for me right now is a lifestyle, right? It's just as soon as I took on the responsibility to be the teacher, the sole educator for my children, it completely changed my mindset about the way I parent. I've become a more intentional parent. Every opportunity that I have to spend with my kids, whether we're out playing in the garden, or we're making breakfast, or we're doing bath times with the colorful bowls and learning the colors, it's a teachable moment for me, right? So homeschooling for us is a lifestyle now. Although we have a 1 hour sit down dedicated time to teach and learn things, throughout the course of the day, we're homeschooling and learning together and growing together and having fun. So personalizing my son's lessons to focus on his unique needs has somewhat created a genuine interest for learning. Listen, I go through lessons with my kid and he's like, "Mommy, can we do one more please?" So he loves to learn. And I think for me, that's a huge win this term. I have a little one who enjoys learning. He finds learning activities fun. For him, it's play, right? One other thing that has really worked for us is the bond. Since I started homeschooling my kids, believe me, the bond has been magical. It has created such a great bond, and it has brought us so much closer together. If you think about it, I spend just 1 hour every day of uninterrupted time with my kids. I spend about 40 minutes one-to-one with my 3-year-old and a good 20 minutes with my 1-year-old. That time is just for the both of us. We're spending time together, we're learning whatever we're learning, we're making it fun, we're engaging, and they love it. So they come to me about, in a single day, my 3-year-old comes to me about 3 or 4 times just to tell me, "Mommy, I love you." Mommy, I want you. Mommy, I want to give you a hug. And it's truly magical for me. So that's one thing that has really worked very well. Lastly, extracurricular activities. Homeschooling has enabled us to get involved in so many extracurricular activities. My son plays football. He has time to do karate. He has time to learn swimming, and I recently enrolled him into a roller skates club. So we're doing all these fun things. On top of that, we go out a lot more. We have loads of lunches and restaurants. We go out for breakfast a lot of the times because we have the time. We have the flexibility to make up our own schedule. We take learning outside of the classroom sometimes. We go to the zoo. We have lessons out in the park, and it's just all fun, right? And on top of that, it's a lot cheaper to homeschool. Instead of paying school fees, I'm paying for all these other extracurricular activities. So my child is a lot more rounded by me being able to homeschool him. And I have a lot more extra cash for us to do all these extra things, and my kids absolutely love it. And I love it too. So of course it hasn't been a smooth journey all the way. We have met some bumps along the way. And I think the biggest one has been creating social connections for my kids, because they're not going to nursery or to school like other kids. They do need to have those social interactions. So we've had to put in more effort for them to be able to meet with other kids and play, which is why I have him involved in all these other clubs: his football club, his karate club, and now swimming. So there he's able to make friends and meet new people. But one other positive thing that has come out of this is my 3-year-old in particular has always been a little bit of a bully, and he's always taken his friends for granted. But now when he goes to the playground or to the playpen or wherever, or even when he goes swimming with his friends or karate, he's learned to be more respectful towards his friendships. Because unlike in the classroom, if you're mean to your friends, your friend is still going to join you or participate in whatever activity that the class is participating on. But if you're mean to a kid in the park, that kid can choose not to play with you. I ran into a conversation he was having with his sister yesterday. One of the little girls in the neighborhood dropped by to see his sister because she loves that little girl, and she hung around for a couple minutes, and then she left. So my daughter started calling her out, and I saw my 3-year-old go to his sister and said to her, "It's okay, Mama, your friend left because you weren't nice to her. You need to be nice to your friends so that they will stay and play with you." For me, that was a good thing. He's as young as he is, he's already learning the responsibility, learning that you have to be responsible towards your friends. You have to be respectful, and you have to be nice to them if you want them to stick around, right? So I think, although that it has been difficult, although it has been a bit of an effort to get into all of his lessons and all of his extracurricular activities so that he can make friends, it has got a really good value, which is being respectful and, putting in the work to maintain your friendships. So time management has been another really tricky one. It's almost impossible to juggle all these things, taking your kids to extracurricular activities, homeschooling, and for some mamas who work full time like myself, it's really hard. And what has worked for me has been, number one, having a routine, having a really strict, unbreakable routine. It works for me. It works for the kids. They know what to expect. Like I said earlier, our homeschooling lesson starts at 7:30. It finishes at 8:30 because something else has to happen. Maybe I'll do another video where I share a day in our life so you can see how we juggle through all of these different activities. Listen, mommies, we can't do everything. It's not even possible to do it all. But what I'm going to say is outsource as much as you can. If you have a husband, my husband is so helpful, God bless him. If you've got family members that live with you, if you've got friends, if you've got a hired hand, get them involved as much as you can with the heavy lifting so that you can focus on what really matters. The hugs, the kisses, the, lesson plans and all the other fun things, right? So that's my little advice. So although not having a curriculum has been a good thing for me, it has also been a bad thing in the sense that I've had to make up the lessons for myself, and that can be a little bit time consuming with everything else that I have to handle. It's been fun but it's also been a little bit tedious. Finding resources online and trying to fit it into a lesson that's appropriate for my 3-year-old and find what's also appropriate for my 2-year-old has been a bit of of a juggle, right? And sometimes I feel like I'm all over the place. Okay, so I'm in the market now hunting for a curriculum, not because my child needs one, but because I need one to give me some sort of a guide. I'm very grateful that I started off with that one because it's taken off the pressure that I need to go through the lesson. I understand now better that what I'm trying to achieve is encourage that desire to learn and grow and follow and encourage my child to improve on the skills that they are interested in and what they're good at. At the end of the day, they're toddlers. He's 3 years old. My daughter is 1.5. All they need to learn is their alphabet and a few bits and pieces here and there. So I'm fishing for a curriculum now, and I'm going to start using one as a guide, not as a must-have. Right? So if you're a homeschooling mama and you don't have a curriculum, please don't feel under pressure to get one. Just do what works for you. So please, like I said, I'm in the market for curriculums. If you've got one that you're using, please leave it in the comment section below. Maybe I would just jump on that one and tell me, also share why you're liking it. And let's see how it goes. Ideally, I really want something that I could easily incorporate my Christian values and start putting in those good values in our toddlers. And of course, there's been several moments of self-doubt. Moments when I felt like, am I doing enough? Am I covering enough? Is this the right decision? Am I leaving my little one out too much and focusing too much on the older one? All those mom guilt moments. I've had quite a few of those. And in moments like that, I remind myself, this is a journey and it's not a race. I remind myself that they're toddlers, and I remind myself of what's important. I remind myself of the morals that I'm being able to instill in them in a world where people are doing crazy things, right? And I remind myself that even if they don't learn anything and they just learn these good manners, that's enough. That is enough. So I take learning everywhere. Like I said, for us, homeschooling is a lifestyle. It's not an activity that we do. It's not in the learning activities that we do every morning from 7:30 to 8:30. It's the conscious parenting and intentional parenting mentality that I now have. And for that, I will continue on this journey for as long as I possibly can. So until then, we're still here. Please leave your comments in the comment section. Share your journey if you're a homeschooling mom. If you're starting out like me, you're not so sure. I hope that this video encourages you. What I'm going to say is I've learned a lot of patience. I've learned to be flexible, and I've learned to go with the flow. I'm very grateful that I'm nurturing my kids to love learning and to build good characters and to be good citizens. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you stay tuned and subscribe.